Is there anyone on the show you wouldn't speak to again? Most embarrassing drunk story. Ooh, did you hear anyone have sex in the house? Oh, have you dealt with body positivity issues? Juicy. If you're here, sit down, grab a snack, grab a cup of tea like what I do, Angie. Cheers. Put on your dressing gown and let's get to know each other. Let's become closer friends. I went over to my Instagram. If you aren't following me, you can if you want. And I asked you guys to ask me any question and I'm just gonna go ahead and answer them. No shame here, honestly. There was a lot of questions and I sifted through them all. I reckon there was over 1,000 questions there. And I screenshotted my personal favorites. So yeah. Also, a lot of these questions are related to like Big Brother, which I'm going to answer a couple, but a lot of these questions I actually answered in my Big Brother Q&A, which was my first ever YouTube video. So feel free to, after this video, not now, afterwards, to go ahead and check it out because I answered a lot of questions very openly and honestly. So yeah. How many times did you get in trouble in BB and what were the most interesting reasons? So I got in trouble by Big Brother quite a lot just because I used to do a lot of dumb stuff. Like, for example, when I was bored, I would just jump on the couches and I would try to do parkour and I would like try and climb up the walls. Sorry if the lighting's changing. Yeah, the sun's going whack here in Melbourne. But yeah, a lot of the times I would get in trouble for napping. So you guys would have saw on 7+ in the deleted scenes, Chad and I had to count to 1,000,000. And that was a pretty crappy punishment. Another time I've had to do lots of like push-ups and star jumps and stuff. Those were mainly Big Brother's go-to punishments. Do you believe in astrology? If so, what's your star sign? So growing up, my mum was heavy into star signs. Like she would read us all our weekly horoscope. So I do somewhat believe in it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Scorpio, mind you. And I reckon I fit Scorpio pretty well, except for the whole batshit crazy, like that side of Scorpio, which I don't think I am. I mean, what's there not to believe? I reckon it's pretty accurate. How long have those nails been on? These nails are hanging on for dear life. I got them for the Big Brother finale, which was about a month ago now. So I don't know if I should like peel them off. In Melbourne, no like nail shops are open, so I can't get them taken off professionally. This one kind of fell off and then I ripped it off and yeah, I'm kind of just chilling. How old were you when you got your period? I was about 12 years old. I remember it was just before school time and I was so chill about it because I have 2 older sisters. So I already knew what periods were. I already knew what pap smears were. Like I was already told everything under the sun. Like my family's such an open book. So yeah, I was very prepared, but I was 12. I was so excited. Like I remember back in high school, late primary school, everyone was just praying they would get their period. So yeah. How was life growing up and how many siblings do you have? Growing up, I had the best childhood. I grew up on a dairy farm up at Caldermead with my dad. It was kind of part-time with my dad and then part-time with my mum because my mum and dad split when I was very young. Yeah, they just didn't work together, which is completely okay. And yeah, so I grew up part on a dairy farm up at Caldermead and part in Pakenham with my mum. And I reckon I had the best childhood ever. Like, we had no money, we were under the poverty line. So it was hard, don't get me wrong. Like, all through high school I had to rely on like scholarships and stuff to get textbooks and I had to start work at a pretty young age, but I reckon I had the best childhood ever. So like growing up, I never had internet until I moved out of home. So this is the first time I've ever had internet in my life, and because of that, growing up, instead of being inside and playing on an iPod, which is something we didn't have, I would actually go outside and play in the mud with my sister. So yeah, it was a weird childhood, but I'm so thankful. I reckon I've turned into a pretty good nut. I don't know. I sound like Willy Wonka. Good nut. You look like Jojo Siwa. Yes, I get reminded that on a daily basis. It's either Jojo Siwa or Abigail Breslin that I get reminded of. Both of them, not bad. If they want to like hit me up and we can like recreate Parent Trap and I can live a day in their life, then please do it. I would love to be a millionaire. Will you make wholesome merch? I feel like I'm not important enough to make merch. I don't know, that's just my mentality. Like, yeah, I don't know, would anyone even buy it? I feel like I wouldn't make merch for a long time, but would anyone buy it? I don't know. I'd make cute designs. I'd make sure, you know, like, it's good for the people. Yeah. Anyway, because I see some people, they make merch and it's like $100. And like, I'm only willing to pay $100 on a jumper if it's actually ethical, cruelty-free, environmentally friendly. Like, yeah, it's got to tick a lot of boxes for me to pay a lot of money for something. Most embarrassing drunk story. Ooh, this is juicy. I don't know. A lot of me being drunk is embarrassing. Mind you, I am of legal age. I'm turning 20 in a couple months. In Australia, you have to be 18 to drink. So drink responsibly. Don't condone underage drinking unless you're within premises of a responsible adult. I don't know. Let's be real here, we're all Australian, we're all alcoholics. Nah, a lot of my drunk stories are pretty embarrassing. I remember the night of my year 12 graduation, I got absolutely hammered that I woke up on the roof of Beacon Lighting and then I went to work half an hour later. So maybe that. Does it annoy you when people call you little? No, not really. I mean, I look at myself every day in the mirror and it's like, I get it. Like, I'm little, I know. So not really. This is a break for everyone to drink some tea. What are your goals in life? Just to be happy, honestly. Like, I don't really have any strict goals. Like, I'll finish uni when I'm ready. I'll get a career when I'm ready. I'll have kids when I'm ready. All I want to do is be happy and influence people in a positive way. Yeah. What was your first part-time job and how old were you when you got it? So my first like official job, like I'd been walking dogs since I was like 10, but my first official job was at Subway and I got hired exactly on my 14th birthday. That was like how old you had to be hired. And yeah, it was great. I mean, it only took me working there like 3 months to realize that I wasn't earning enough money, so I had to get a second job. But yeah, I worked there for about 3 years. How are you finding being all famous now? Okay, so I'm definitely not famous. Like, going on a TV show does not make you famous whatsoever. Until Leonardo DiCaprio knows my name, I am not famous. I mean, it's cool and all. Like, I mean, now I feel like I have like 45,000 friends on my Instagram. It's pretty sick, but yeah, no, it's pretty chill. The only thing I don't like is when I'm like grocery shopping at Coles and people literally take photos of me without asking. Like, if you want a photo, just come up and say hi. Like, I promise I'm not scary. Like, I'm 4 foot tall. Like, I'm not intimidating at all. Just come up to me. Don't take photos of me because I find that super creepy. How was your experience in high school? I was very lucky. I had an incredible high school experience. I really driven myself into the community aspect of high school. I did so many extracurricular activities. I was always on student leadership council. I had a very good relationship with my teachers and my peers. Like, I was school captain of year 12, so I really wanted to make sure that I was the voice of the people. Nah, I really wanted to make sure that we all had a mutual understanding, and there would be times that I'd literally stay after school to help struggling VCAL and VCE students because I wanted to make sure they would pass. Because the school that I went to, it has a very low graduation rate, let alone people actually making it into university. So I wanted to make sure that the numbers of graduates kept on going high, and I had an incredible experience. But on the other hand, I'm also very understanding that not everyone has a great high school experience, and that's completely okay. If high school is not your thing, that's totally fine. Once you leave high school, there's a whole other world out there. Like, my 16-year-old brother, he does not have a great high school experience at all. It's just not his jam, and that's okay. Okay, I want to normalize high school not being be all end all, because in high school they make a lot of emphasis that it's a one-way street. Like, if you aren't good at high school and if you don't like high school, that's okay. There's so many other alternative routes that you can go to, and you don't have to complete high school to become a doctor. You don't have to complete high school to become a lawyer, and that's completely okay. Just take it a day at a time and everything will work out for how it's meant to be. Amen. Have you been dating Nathan? How did it all happen, etc.? All the relationship tea. Okay, so I won't dive into this too much because we respect privacy, but Nathan and I have known each other basically our entire life. We went all through primary school and high school together. He came to my 6th birthday party, okay? Like, that shows how long we've known each other. But we didn't become close friends until our senior years of school. I think it was like year 10. We finally had a class together and we realized, oh wow, you're pretty funny. Like, yeah, we realized that we had the same kind of humor, and we were just friends all through high school. Like, right after we graduated, that we ended up becoming close, and then we started dating. And here we are. We've been living together for like a year and a half now, and he's still my best friend. What football team do you go for? I go for St Kilda. Crappy team, but not crappy supporters. Have you ever met a mean St Kilda supporter? I mean, I haven't. Let me know if you have, because I haven't. Was there any interaction with behind the scenes cast / production while filming Big Brother? No, so like the cameramen and stuff, they were all within the walls. Sounds so creepy, but no, sometimes we would try to like call out to them. Like I'd be like, hey, like, what's the time? And they would not respond, like at all. They just kind of ignore you, which is fair. I think they would get into trouble if they responded to us. Is there anyone on the show you wouldn't speak to again? Yeah, probably. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I came across any of these people in public, I will 100% go grab a coffee with them. The bond that you create within this house is something that I've never experienced before. It's an experience that no one else can relate to. Like even past Big Brother contestants, they cannot understand what we had to go through. We literally had to vote out our best friends. We were the difference between someone winning $250,000 and someone going home empty-handed. And that takes a lot on your emotions per se. So if I met any of these people in the street, I would 100% go get a coffee with them, beer, freaking tequila shot, whatever. But there were some people in the house that I just had a personality clash with that I wouldn't normally be friends with on the outside world, and that's completely okay. Yeah, we're like family, but yeah, some of these people just aren't my jam, and that's also okay. And I feel like everyone in the house also had that same experience. You know, maybe I was that one person to someone. Maybe there's someone in the house that I'm not their jam, and that's okay. Did you hear anyone have sex in the house? Oh my god, I don't know like YouTube's policies. Am I gonna get demonetized for this? But I'll answer it anyway. But no, see, that's the thing. We knew going into this that it was a family friendly show. We didn't go in there to have sex. We didn't go in there to like hook up with people. Even like Chad and Sophie, like they didn't go into the house wanting to do that. It just naturally happened. And Chad and Sophie didn't sleep in the same bed. They didn't do any sexy time, if that was what you guys are wondering, because that's not what this show's about. Like, trust me, I've been in a long-term relationship. We can all last 40 days without it. Like, it's not gonna kill you, okay? So, no one did that. Yeah. Juicy. Were the challenges rigged in Big Brother? No, they were not rigged. A lot of people are saying that, like, even like the lock challenge where we had to like unlock the locks, some people are saying that the locks didn't work, which no. After the challenge ended, we were given the opportunity to have a look at the challenge to see if they were rigged or not, and they were not rigged. Some challenges, obviously some people had an advantage in, like the challenge where we had to shovel the corn. I think it's called like Sands of Time or something. Like, of course I'm gonna be at disadvantage because my legs are freaking 10 centimeters compared to Dan, whose legs are like 2 meters. So yeah, some people were at a disadvantage in some of those challenges, but they were not rigged. If I just kept on running, or if I was a freaking ex-Olympic gymnast, then yeah, I could have won that challenge, but I didn't. And it was completely fair across the board. I just have short legs. Will you be at Sench first week it opens back up? Yes, I'll be like the first person in line at like 7 p.m. I will get there early to get the free entry at Sench. Favorite thing about your boyfriend? That he is ridiculously good looking and that he's so supportive of every single thing I do. Like, when I told him like, oh, I think I'm going on Big Brother when I was shortlisted, like he did not even flinch. He's like, hell yeah, you do it. Like, because we have a thing called trust. Have you ever been in a low point and can't see a way out? Yes, in a way. I feel like I'm such a positive person. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I've been very lucky in the aspect of mental health. Like, severe mental health disorders do run in my family. Like, I have multiple people in my family that have severe depression. I have multiple people in my family that have schizophrenia and dyslexia and like so many other mental disorders, but I was very lucky. Yeah, I feel like I haven't had much of a problem with that growing up. But on the other hand, when I was grieving, when my father passed away about a year ago, there was a point where I thought, oh my God, like I would do anything to see him again. And I mean anything. And at that point, I think I just needed to identify like, no, snap out of this. The world is still a good place. Just because crappy things happen doesn't mean that the world is over for you. My dad would not want me to be sad about this. Like, I know he's still up there. I know he's still smiling down on me. I know he's still around me right now. And yeah, I just had to keep on reminding myself of that. But there was a point where I thought, I'm never going to be happy ever again. And I feel like everyone goes through that in a bit of grief, but just a reminder that each day it does get better. It's definitely such an individual journey. Like, I can't give you advice on mental well-being, and I can't give you advice on grief, because it's such an individual journey, and everyone's completely different. But for myself personally, I just had to keep on remembering that right now I'm not just living for myself, like I'm living for my dad as well. That kind of made me knock my head into the right place, and it made me realize, okay, like, I need to make sure that he's proud of me. And yeah. What's your favorite plant? Ooh, I probably like monsteras. I'm actually propagating one in this room right now. I'm starting to propagate this one now, which I literally put it in water like 2 days ago, and roots are already starting to grow. Like, it's freaking hectic, man. If any of you guys haven't propagated something, do it. Like, I'm so bad at science, but I feel like I'm a freaking scientist with this. Have you dealt with body positivity issues? Hell yeah. I feel like everyone does during some point in their life. I feel like because I don't have a very conventional body type. My body type isn't something you would see in magazines, but it's also not something you would see on, like, you know, a curvy Instagram page. It's very much in the middle, and I feel like I'm very much out of proportion. Like, I'm so small, but I do have a very big bust, very much have hips of a mum already. And yeah, growing up, it hit me a lot. I was diagnosed with body dysmorphia when I was 14, and I used to do aerobic gymnastics very competitively. So during that time, I would literally wake up I remember I'd wake up at 5 a.m. before school mornings just to work out, because I genuinely thought that I was bigger than what I was. And there was a point where when I started to, you know, grow boobs, when I started to grow boobs, I did not want them, because in that gymnastics community, boobs were frowned upon. Are you kidding me? Like, you could literally lose points if they were like too bouncy. Yeah, there was a point in my teenage years when I actually started like binding them. Yeah, I have dealt with it in the past, and it's only been recently that I've kind of accepted my body for what it is, and I've made me realize, like, no matter how much weight I lose or no matter how much I work out, like, this is my body type. You cannot change your body type. You've just got to look in the mirror, and instead of thinking about everything that's negative with your body, think about everything it's gotten you through. Like, my body's taken me through almost 20 years of life. Like, that's freaking incredible. Are you kidding me? Like, my body's taken me through like 200 periods. Like, oh my God, like, that's freaking sick. So yeah, we're all perfect in our own way. What is your address? Not stalking. My address is... Oh my God, sorry. I think I had some technical issues. Okay, next question. Do you still like Dan even after watching The Big Brother on TV? Because I could have punched him. Yes, I freaking love Dan so much. Dan is probably one of the most genuine people that ever entered that house. So yeah, this is a Dan Positivity YouTube channel. If I see any negative comments about him, I will fight you all one by one. I'll like throw hands. Think of Dan, like the 6'7" footy player, and then think of me, like the 4'10", 4'11", trying to defend him. Just remember, like, it was a game. We were competing for a lot of money. No hard feelings to anyone in that entire house. I would do the exact same if it was for $250,000. I think I did do the same. I did betray a lot of people, and that's unfortunately how the game works. It's a game. It's like Monopoly. Like, when I play Monopoly with Nathan, like, I get ruthless. Oh my God, I start lying. I start manipulating him. I'm like, do you really want to buy that house? Because I want to win. Think of that, like, yeah, I love Dan so much. My iPhone background. Okay, this is pretty embarrassing, but I'm just gonna show it anyway. I just changed it last night as well, but this is my current iPhone background. That is my cat Monty, and just look how he's standing. Like, oh my God. Like, he was just standing so upright, and I was playing Super Mario Bros with my roommate, and he started doing that. And we were pissing ourselves laughing. Anyway, yeah. So that's my iPhone background. Can you do a handstand? Ooh, yes, I can do a handstand. Oh yeah, I'll do it against here. I'll just do it up against a wall because I have no room to go with. Yes. Sophie Budaku, if you're watching, Who's the champion gymnast now? What was your dream job as a child? Growing up, ever since I was about 5 years old, I wanted to be the first female Prime Minister of Australia. And then in 2008 or 2009, Julia Gillard became the first female Prime Minister of Australia. And I cried for about a week. Little 8-year-old me was so sad, so sad. How can you afford to live out on your own as a full-time uni student? So right now, I actually deferred to go on Big Brother. And because of coronavirus, I kind of just haven't gone back since. But I think I'm gonna enroll back in the 3rd trimester just because online uni does scare me, but I think I just need to try it. But I feel like I was very lucky because I've been paying bills since a young age. So I'm used to paying my way through life. So yeah, it's not really that difficult. I mean, you just work, you just put aside money for your bills. Like I pay rent, of course, pay electricity, gas, pay for the phone, the internet, pay for my phone bill, pay for petrol. Yeah, like there's a lot. It seems daunting, but it's actually not. Just like, yeah, just be smart with your money. How many hours / shifts a week do you work at Bunnings and or Coles? So I don't work at Coles anymore. I quit. But I work anywhere between 10 hours a week. And there was one point where I was working 60+ hours a week. So like not just at Coles and Bunnings. So yeah, it kind of just depends. On weeks that I work a lot, I will save more. And in weeks that I work less, I won't save anything at all. So yeah, I kind of just roll with the punches, honestly. I kind of just tackle whatever life throws at me. Okay, last question. Would you move to another state if given the chance? And yes, definitely. I feel like I'm at that point in my life where I've only ever lived in this town. This town that I'm currently in right now, I've only ever lived in there. The farm that I grew up with my dad was only about 20 minutes away from my hometown now. So I feel like I'm at that age where I finally need to leave the nest. I need to do something absolutely crazy. At this moment, I freaking want to move to Perth. I see Casey's Instagram stories right near the beach and I get so jealous. So I would love to move to Perth or Queensland or freaking tip of the Northern Territory, who knows? Yeah, I just want to see something different. I want to see the world. But yeah, that's the last question. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I hope this makes us closer. Comment or DM me on Instagram what you want to see next. I've got a lot of ideas up in my head, but I love suggestions from you guys because this video was a suggestion. So, okay, I'm really bad at these outros. Okay, bye.